Hey everybody, it's Sherry Marinovich with my testimony upload. I'm not a good writer, so writing a book was definitely not an option, but I can talk a lot, and I'm a first grade teacher, so I get to talk a lot, and I love it. Um, but I kind of just wanted to share with how I got started in dance, and as a kid, I always loved dancing, and of course then unfortunately, I guess, I got into the world and I was going to clubs at 15 to be able to go dancing, and I just fell in love with it and loved dancing. And I never got to take dance when I was in, school, high school, college, none of that. Um, Back in, I'll say like maybe 2000, I joined my first dance class, but it was a belly dance class. But once again, I loved it, and I didn't, God was out there for me kind of thing. He was cool, and I loved him, and I just knew I was going to heaven because I hadn't done a whole lot of bad stuff. And so that's kind of where my mindset was. And the belly dancing was really a lot of fun. That's where I kind of got over my fear of performing. So, because we did performances. And then I soon started going to church, probably about 3 years after, and they danced at the church I attended, and it freaked me out. I was just like, I can't believe they're dancing in church, because it'd been quite a long time, and then the church I grew up in was not, you didn't do that kind of thing. You barely raised your hand, and the lady that said amen was crazy. Um, but it was really intriguing, and I kept on with the belly dancing. I started going into church, and then I found a Christian dance studio, and I started attending classes there. And then that's where it was just kind of, you know what, I don't need to be doing the belly dancing anymore. Now I've taken what I've learned from those classes, and I've redeemed them, the veiled movements, and, just being able to count timing and stuff like that. I'm taking, what I learned in a positive way, and I'm using it for God's glory now, and using movements that are appropriate in dance, I should say. Well, when I was at this dance studio, I ended up having to have an emergency surgery, and so I was unable to participate in the recital, but I did go in case I needed to be a backup. And while I was there, very sadly, the owner was so ugly, and I mean, she treated me terrible. I saw her treating other people terrible, and I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this place, because, as a Christian dance studio, you shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff to people. You shouldn't be treating them like garbage. You're supposed to be treating them the way Jesus treats people, and I wasn't getting that, wasn't feeling it, and so I quit attending dance, and I found a different dance studio. It is not a Christian-based dance studio, but I am getting good quality, and I felt like I was really growing as far as dance movement goes. I attended another dance ministry school, and it was good, but there wasn't the connections like the connections I have with Dancing for Him. And I appreciate the connections I have so much more through Dancing for Him. And so I'm really excited that I have completed the 2-year course. It's really an exciting thing. But kind of back to my dancing, I was unable to attend dance classes for about 5 years due to getting laid off at my job. And I just kind of lost everything. When that happened, I just lost it. And I didn't feel like dancing. I didn't want to dance. I didn't care to dance. Even though I wanted to dance, I would rather go to a club and dance because I didn't have to think about anything. I could just listen to the music and not do anything. So I kind of got, a little disheartened for a little while. And some friends of mine were like, we want you to dance for a Bible study. And so, God started moving and again in me again as far as dance goes. And that's when I attended um, the dance ministry school. And it was really neat because I always get very nervous. And luckily, this lady asked me when I was sick and I couldn't say no because I was on some heavy medication. And so she got me, and I danced, and it worked out wonderful. And the prophet at the church asked me to dance for his ministry, and he hadn't had people dance there in a long time, just because some of the women had not. It just wasn't good, is what he said. And so it was really an honor to be able to dance for him and his wife and minister to the congregation. But they spoke words over me that I was going to see more through my dance. And, this has been several years ago, probably, it's been actually more than 5 years ago. And it was kind of cool to get that word. And just recently, I got to dance at a conference, and I mainly do just me. It is just me. And I got to go to this conference, and it was really, really cool because God used me, and healing took place. I had never felt this fire of God. I had never really gotten drunk in the Spirit like we did. And what was one of the most exciting parts for me is, one, God pushed me, and they asked me to dance the next morning. This was 10 o'clock at night. They asked me to dance at 10 o'clock the next morning, and I didn't get the song that I was really going to dance to until about 8 o'clock that morning. So that was a huge push in trying to, learn how to really, really listen to God at that. And then that evening was one of my favorite parts because I've always wanted to do a personal prophetic dance ministry. We get to practice it at our conferences, but I didn't get to really, and I really did it, but it was something I wanted to, go out and do as well. And I got to do that this time, and it was incredible. I want more, and I'm excited, to get more, because when I shared at church what happened at the ladies' conference, my friends that had pushed me to start dancing again were there, and they're like, do you remember the words that were spoken over you, that things were going to happen more and you were going to get more? And I was like, I didn't remember. And I think that's probably why I lost part of, my passion for dance for a little while, is because I didn't remember and I didn't understand how God was going to use me, because I didn't see anything happening. Too many bad things had happened for me to see that God was going to be using me even further. So it was really exciting to have them, confirm again that this is what I'm called to do. I am called to dance, and I'm called to dance for Him. And I'm super excited. And tonight, my one modern class got canceled because only 2 of us were in there. But they said you can move to the beginner. I feel really old because I'm 40, and there's probably a girl in there that's like 8. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. But it was fun, and whatever kind of thing. It's a fun class, and I really enjoy it. And the teacher, I have a very good rapport with her, because when I was at the studio before, she and I really got along. So I'm looking forward, to seeing what in the world is going to happen with this class. But they're a reasonably priced studio, and sometimes you have to go with that. And like I said, I've got a good rapport, and I'm hoping that they will allow me to use time in the studio. I'll do office work or whatever as time to be able to practice in the studio, because my house is very tiny, and practicing for ministry is very difficult here. But that kind of gives you the background of where I have come from. And right now I minister for my church and another church. They have a retreat coming up, and they've asked me to minister again. So I'm really, really excited that God has really been opening these doors for what He spoke over me several years ago. And it's finally starting to come to pass, and I know that there's more, and I look forward to continue to grow through dancing for Him. Even though the classes are over, I know I'm still going to grow, and I hope that I get to reach more women, because that's part of my passion and part of the ministry that I know God has called me to do. So, thanks. Bye.